Board game review. Fairy Ring.
This is Fairy Ring, a game about fairies dancing on mushrooms growing in a circle. It was designed by Laurence Grenier and Fabien Tanguy and published by Repos Games. In this charming game, players grow mushrooms which together form a fairy ring, and move their fairies around the ring from one mushroom to the next. All players choose a card simultaneously, then take turns revealing and playing their cards to their section of the ring, called a village. Cards can be placed separately to form a new mushroom, or placed on top of an existing mushroom to make it grow taller. The card you play determines how many mushrooms your fairy moves, which happens as soon as you play that card. When a fairy lands on a mushroom, the owner of that mushroom receives mana. The amount depends on the type of mushroom and the size of that mushroom. If your fairy lands on an opponent's mushroom and you have a mushroom of the same type in your village, you may activate that mushroom to gain mana as well. After each player has taken a turn, everyone passes their cards to the left and takes another turn until everyone has played 6 cards, which is when the round ends. Players may turn in 20 mana for a point at any time. At the end of the second round, the player with the highest score wins. Fairy Ring is one of those games that has a simple mechanic that leads to a surprising level of strategic depth. The first few turns in the game don't have a lot of importance, but by turn 4, at least, every decision can have lasting consequences, and players will spend some amount of time examining their options before deciding which card to play.
Attributes. Strategy. 4.
Strategy is the most important factor in determining the outcome of the game, although there is some level of randomness as well.
Randomness. 2.
The cards that you draw will affect the decisions you are able to make, but what you do with those cards has a greater impact on the outcome of the game.
Complexity. 1.
The simple mechanics make this game easily accessible for younger players, but still provide enough meat for adult gamers looking for a filler game.
Humor.
Fairy Ring is not meant to be funny.
Physical design. Neutral sign.
There is nothing special or impressive about the mechanical design of this game, but it is very pretty with lavish illustrations and delightful fairy pawns, each with an association to a different insect.
Average length of a game.
A game of Fairy Ring tends to last about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the number of players and the amount of analysis paralysis.
Gamer profile ratings. Strategy. Medium.
Although not as cognitively challenging as heavier games, the importance of players' decisions is not insignificant.
Conflict. Low.
It is virtually impossible to play this game without giving your opponents points. In fact, it is a major component of the strategy. You want to create your village in such a way that your opponents have no choice but to give you as much mana as possible.
Immersion. Low.
There is not much detail to the setting, and there is no personalization of the characters or villages.
Cooperation. Medium.
Although players are out for themselves, they are creating an expansive and dynamic fairy ring together.
Chance. Medium.
Although luck is not the primary determining factor of victory, it is noticeably present in the cards that make up players' hands.
Social manipulation. Low.
There's no lying or manipulating.
Pros and cons.
As mentioned, the game has a simple mechanic that yields a surprising amount of strategic depth. This, along with the beautiful artwork and delightful theme, is definitely a pro. There is also an optional set of rules for achievements, which can add more complexity and replayability to the game. However, the rules state that players' scores are to be kept secret and not revealed until the end of the game. In my experience, this is an unnecessary and pointless rule. Even if a player loses track of how many times an opponent has turned in 20 mana for a point, having the scores hidden doesn't really add much to the game. This is a minor complaint, as it doesn't really detract from the game, but it was frequently mentioned by players as being a pointless extra step.
Conclusion.
I discovered this game at the Geekway to the West convention in 2025, and it turned out to be my favorite game of the con. Although the others didn't hold it in as high a regard, they all enjoyed it and would be willing to play it again. I would be interested in hearing what you think. Have you played it? What were your thoughts? And with that, I bid you adieu. I hope you found this review informative and helpful. Until next time, game on.